Good morning. Good morning. Today's lead story is all about EU tariff negotiations. I know you're bored already, so stick with me. I think Donald Trump wakes up every day and sometimes he lacks something to be angry about or racist about or violent about. And so he writes about tariffs. I don't think he actually cares that much about tariffs. It's just a kind of tick he's developed that makes him feel more in control and more powerful. On Friday, he threatened the EU with 50% tariffs if trade negotiations didn't pick up pace. Then he had a conversation with the EU commissioner and promised to negotiate them down. You'll notice that there's this kind of thing with Trump and tariffs where he threatens, he doesn't get what he wants, he kind of backs off, and then everything's copacetic. Other people have noticed this. And I think the EU has probably realized that if they don't back down and simply give the US whatever it's asking for, they will get what they want. And that's what they're doing. There is a trade imbalance between the US and Europe in that the US buys more European products than the Europeans buy of American products. That's because, as we all know, Europe is a more tasteful and refined place. And unless you want to buy a terrible Chevy truck or something, most Americans kind of fetishize European design for good reason. Apple products, which are not made in the US, have been designed by a British man, Sir Johnny Ive, since about the new iMac, like, I don't know, the new iPod, 2004, something like that, and everyone loves Johnny Ive and they all think that Apple products are great. All he did was make some nice plastic to encase some American technology. It's all made in China and India, and we can't make it in the US because we don't have a skilled workforce that's willing to work for a pittance. If we did, we'd have to charge $3,000 for an iPhone, and Americans like cheap products. So Donald Trump's in this difficult position where he wants the trade imbalance to be kind of redressed, but he's not really thought that through. And there are other things that the Europeans will not do. They won't roll back regulations and tax things on tech companies, for example. So we're in a bit of a tricky one here because, as far as most Europeans are concerned, Donald Trump's an awful person. Most American products are terrible. They have agreed they might buy a bit more liquefied natural gas from us and some of our microchips. But frankly, those microchips are also being manufactured in other countries. And it's possible in due course that those other countries might make them slightly better than us. Liquefied natural gas is a product that Europe needs because it can't continue to get it from Russia for its energy security. So they're prepared to make some concessions there. But the majority of European trade policy works well for Europe. And that's why they're in a strong negotiating position. It's partly why the bloc was created, so that they'd be in a good position to negotiate trade tariffs and so on. Tariffs are boring. Nobody cares about tariffs. Everybody just wants to see their 401k go up, their savings continue to gain in value. And every time Donald Trump tweets about this nonsense, he destabilizes markets and they lose a couple of percent. They only lose a couple of percent because nobody takes him seriously anymore. When he did it at first, people were really panicked and markets lost 7-8%. It's just because we don't take him seriously that we're kind of carrying on, assuming that eventually his advisors will make him see sense and we'll all be fine. The story quotes a variety of European experts and a variety of trade experts saying, really, this is a tricky negotiation because there's sort of there's an impasse in that both sides have already got what they do and don't want. I think what will ultimately happen, if I'm looking in my crystal ball, is that somebody will figure out a way for Donald to kind of basically forget about this negotiation. We'll strike some sort of deal before July the 6th, which is the deadline now. And all will carry on much as it was. Meanwhile, Trump tweeted that he thought Vladimir Putin was crazy on the weekend. Vladimir Putin's tweeted back that he thinks Donald Trump is showing signs of emotional overwork or something. It's always good to kick off a social media fight with the nuclear power, isn't it? Impulses. Rein them in. Don. Thanks, folks, for letting me read the newspaper so that you don't have to.